All right, it's Thursday, so welcome to another edition of Buck What You Heard. My name is Gene. You can reach me at Super Heavyweight. You follow me, I'll follow you back. I made it through the severe thunderstorm we had here, and we didn't have power for an hour. I didn't have internet. Didn't know if the ship was going to sail, but we made it. And tonight, I am joined by my co-host, Michael Pless. How you doing tonight?
Good. Glad to be back on.
Oh, yeah.
It's football
man.
season.
It's football, yes, sir. So tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, you can check us out at realbuckstalk.com. Follow us on Twitter at realbuckstalk, also on Facebook, Instagram. But yeah, right now, I mean, we're just getting back into the flow. We're putting up new articles daily now, and it's awesome. It's a great time to be a Bucks fan.
Yes, sir. And there was an article I read about the offensive line. It was so good, I thought Michael Pless wrote it, but it turns out that my next guest, Mark, how you doing, man? Mark wrote this awesome article about the O-line. Thank you for joining me, man. And like I told you, if there's anything I can do to get you on a lot more often, I will do it. Short of breaking the law.
Yeah, it's just pleasing the wife, right? Pleasing the other half.
Exactly. What mama wants, mama gets.
Oh, yeah, I do that on the regular. But no, it's good to be back. Football season is here. Today, they're playing right now, actually.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, that's why I'm writing articles back again. I mean, I'm usually the video guy. I'm back to writing every day because I'm excited. I'm ready for football to be here. We went to training camp. I got psyched up. I was literally yelling at Mike, texting, calling. I'm excited. I can't shut up about it. Like every day, I'm talking to him about something new, something different. It's here. You can see it. You're actually talking what you're seeing. It's not something of your imagination, which you're making stuff up. It's actually here.
Yeah,
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah. And I tell you what, that time from the last game of the season till the first preseason game feels like an eternity, man. It's just like you're coming up with stuff to talk about, and now here we are. We are doing this thing. And guys, I'm going to start with you, Mark. I'm really excited about this team. I want to kind of go back to the draft a little bit. And I remember when Beckwith was drafted, I was not really one of those guys that was thrilled about that move by Jason Light. I really highly questioned it. And from what I'm hearing, I mean, he's actually doing a pretty good job, for a rookie. What are your thoughts on him?
I mean, when we went to camp, you didn't really see much of the linebackers. They didn't really run much when we went. Like we went last Sunday. And they were still just throwing passes, 7-on-7s. It wasn't really running yet. They didn't actually put the full pads on. They had the upper half. That was about it.
Right.
But, I mean, that's when you're really going to see Beckwith. Like, I didn't like Beckwith because I didn't see him as a Buccaneer linebacker, as what we see as the speed, fly to the ball, can play anywhere, just run, full on go every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him as that. He's just a big, bulky, he's going to stop the run. Well, it looks like that's what they're trying to do. Like, just get guys that will stop the run. Because, I mean, look, Stevie T. Look at Baker is a big boy, but he can do both. That's why we spent big money on him. But Beckwith, from what I've seen, he can stop the run. Against the pass, he's a liability. But, I mean, first, second down or on the goal line fronts, okay, maybe he can play the game. But, hey, he's a fourth-round pick, right? So, let's I don't have huge expectations. I'll have Quan Alexander for him, but let's see if he can serve the role he's drafted to do, stop the run.
Yeah, okay. Michael Pless, your thoughts?
Well, Mark, technically he's a third-round pick, but that's just being technical.
Tomato.
Like a wild.
But yeah, I mean, from what I'm hearing, I mean, it looks like he's picking up everything pretty quickly. Again, I mean, just his recovery is a great story in itself. He's coming off an ACL and he's already back on the field within eight months. So that's pretty impressive just to show his work ethic. His attention to detail looks to be there. It seems like he's picking up this defense pretty quickly. So, I mean, he's got a good head on his shoulders. It seems like he's kind of got that same similar mindset as far as Aquan, where he just, really loves the game, very passionate. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, like Mark said, we got to wait till see what the games show as far as preseason. Again, I would agree he's a first and second down linebacker built to stop the run. That's why they brought him in here, because our run defense was just not up to par last year. So it's going to be a if and wait, or wait and see, see what happens.
Okay. So, Michael, I'm going to go to you. I wanted to kind of talk about some of the standouts, some of the things that really stood out to you with camp. And I know that you've been to camps in the past, and does this feel different? I mean, let's talk about the crowd and just the overall experience of camp this year. I know for me, I used to take off of work. I used to call in sick and go to camp, and it was over at Pepper and Root Stadium, and I really enjoyed that, and just the vibe, the overall vibe of the crowd and just the players. It was something that you really can't really compare it to anything. And I was just wondering, this camp as opposed to some of the other camps you've been to, how do you feel? I mean, as far as, things are going.
Well, there's definitely a different vibe, that's for sure. Because I've been to a lot of camps. I went to the camps when they were in Orlando, when John Gruden was the coach, and that was just you just felt the atmosphere. It was a different quality from the players, and it was also, just guys out there competing, day in and day out. The right mindset. Guys are just focused on what they have to do at this certain time. They're not looking ahead or looking in the past. But as far as the crowd, I mean, you can tell the expectations are very high. This team better get at least 9 wins this season, or there's going to be some outroar.
Yeah, there's going to be a mutiny.
Yeah, because there's definitely expectations, and they are raised as they should be. This is probably one of the better rosters we've had since I don't know, a long time. So, but as far as the overall feel was good. I thought the tempo was good from camp. It really felt like a Gruden-esque practice. But I mean, just everyone was focus is the key word.
There we go. So, and again, I just, what kind of stood out to you? I mean, in both, I'll leave this for both of you. Who stood out? Because I realized that it's not, it wasn't pads. It was more or less everybody running around with helmets on. But still, there's got to be players that are really trying to get their name out there and trying to put themselves ahead of everybody else in some way, making plays, that kind of thing.
All right, Mike, let me jump on that one.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah, the number one guy that we went and saw Sunday, you would think it'd be Jackson or Evans. It was actually Adam Humphries. He lit it up. I don't think he's dropped a damn pass yet. The guy looks quick, shifty, doesn't drop passes. He's sure-handed. Like, he's looking really good. I see a highlight of him every day. Like, the one time we went, he caught everything, looked perfect. Like, breakdown plays, he's still going straight up. He sees Jameis like pointing up, he goes, he's caught it over the shoulder, in traffic, across the middle. He's done like pretty much everything.
Yeah,
and he's caught everything. So he's
and the one thing that we've said this throughout the offseason. Don't discount Adam Humphries, and Cameron Brate's the other guy that you can't discount either. I understand that they have a lot of new weapons, and there are people that are growing into the schemes, whether it's offense or defense. But these are guys that Jameis Winston's truly comfortable with. When you talk about an Adam Humphries and a Cameron Brate, and we already know what you have with Mike Evans as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. And then another one was everyone wanted to see BucWhatYaHeard. Like, yeah, he does look the part. He's a physical freak. Like, you see him next to the other tight ends, he looks like a damn Hulk. Like, he fits that specimen type that I like to see. Well, obviously, the other rookie that is playing above his years, Chris Godwin. Like, he's smooth. Like, everything, body control. Like, he looks like he knows what he's doing every time he's running a route. Like, the way he transitions and torques his body to catch a ball. Like, it looks all natural. It's nothing like it's him rushing or anything. Everything looks really, really clean and nice with Chris Godwin.
Yeah,
of rookies.
And for a rookie to, and one thing that I keep hearing about him is one thing that not Jason Light, but Dirk Cutter said was he was prepared, and that's something you rarely hear about from when you talk about a rookie is that statement. But the fact that he comes in and you look at his game and it's like you're looking at somebody that's been in the league longer than just a little bit of time he's been in. From everything that I've heard from him is that he's putting himself in a position to make plays.
Yeah, and then another one I wanted to say, which I know everyone hates, Chris Conte.
Yeah.
Conte he looks like he's doing his job. I mean, it's not like he's getting a pick off every day like everyone's expecting. What's his name? The new safety. Always forget his name. What's his name?
Oh, JJ Wilcox?
Yeah, JJ Wilcox. Yes, he's making plays. I'll admit that. He did make plays when we were there too. But Conte's just making the right play. He doesn't think about it. He just goes. It's not like he's in the Cardinals game last year, which he looked god-awful. He looks like he knows what he's doing. Like, he's keeping everything in front of him. That's everyone's worry. They saw it early last year, and they think that's exactly what's going to happen. Like, come on. You got to give this guy a break. I mean, he did get better every game, and he's shown it in practice. Yeah, it's not knocking the crap off of everyone, but still, he's getting better, and he's not making mistakes.
And that's the key right there.
Yeah, and that's one thing with Justin Evans I wanted to watch. He's thinking. You can obviously see he's thinking on the field, and after every play though, the coach is yelling at him, and he's asking the coach what am I doing? What's going on? That's one thing I do like to see, and they're forcing him to communicate, to talk. I guess he's calm or just quiet or whatever, but I do like that they're yelling at him, and he's yelling back saying okay, I'm trying to understand what the hell's going on. So that's one benefit I do like. It's a good and a bad. Yeah.
So I mean, as far as he goes, I mean, everything that I've heard, Conte's been consistent, and that's the plus for him, and that's what you need is consistency in the secondary. I mean, you kind of have it with Brent Grimes and Vernon Hargreaves, and I know that the safety position was huge for fans. I mean, Twitter was lighting up from the end of the season on, where people were complaining about the safety position. I feel like, Jason Light, the general manager, is doing a great job. He looks at film a lot more in depth than what any of us fans do. And this is a guy I think that he's going to, he's going to make the right decisions. I think that we've got some talent out there and they're competing for those positions. It's not like something's being handed to them like we saw with the last regime where players were brought in and there was no competition. They were just handed their position.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it wasn't pretty. What's his name? Just Lovey's just not too long ago. Lovey with George Johnson and the right tackle. Anthony Collins, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Anthony Collins. Michael Johnson.
That was. I don't know. And they just showed it on the field. They were terrible every game. Why?
Yeah,
incredible.
Even Josh McCown and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
So, I'll just talk. I mean, as far as what stood out to me, I think just the overall defense in itself was looking very, very impressive. They just look so much faster as a unit. Everyone's flying to the football, which is very good to see. Thought I really focused in on Noah Spence, and he just looks like he has another gear where he's going through his one-on-one drills and everyone else is moving in slow motion because he's moving so damn fast. So I mean, it's very impressive to see how he's grown. He looks a lot leaner, but he looks just as fast and strong. And I'm very impressed to see what he can do once the games start here next week. But overall, I mean, the defense really stood out for me. They looked really strong.
And that's what I'm really hoping for. If as long as they can get pressure on the quarterback, that's going to help everybody else behind them. And I know I sound like a broken record saying this, but it's huge. I mean, you've got Drew Brees, you've got Cam Newton, you've got to deal with melted ice, Matt Ryan. And you got all these guys that, you know, they're top tier quarterbacks, and you have to get pressure on these guys. You have to, and otherwise they're gonna shred. I don't care if you've got a prime time in his prime out there. I mean, they're gonna shred a defense if they have time to scan the field. So it's vital that the defense, you know, that they can stay healthy, that they can go out and get pressure on the quarterback. That's got to be huge. Another guy I was going to ask you about, Ayers. How did Ayers look, or did you get a chance to watch him and how he's coming off the ball? Does he look like he's ready to go this season?
I think it's a little too early to tell. I mean, I think Ayers, he looks good. He did get blown off the ball a little bit by Donovan Smith.
Yes.
Just on a run play. We actually put the clip up. I mean, talk about a guy who can who's built to run block is Donovan Smith. I mean, that guy, he knows what he's doing when he's called to run block. But I thought the defensive line as a whole was looking good. They were coming off the ball pretty quickly. Gerald McCoy, as always, is dominant. Oh, yeah. He's probably the best. He's the best player on the field. It looks like every day so far. But yeah, I mean, Ayers looks fine. He looks healthy. I didn't see anybody, you know, as far as, you know, looking slow out there. That's for sure. Yeah. Everyone looks ready.
And I'm looking in the chat here, and I've got a couple of people asking about McNichols. And I wanted to see what your thoughts were on him. I know he's a rookie. I have very low expectations. If he does good, he does good. I want the best players on the field. I want the Buccaneers to win games. I'm not like tied to one player, but logically, when I look at when I saw a picture of Doug Martin, I was like, oh my God, this dude is like, he's shredded. And from everything I've heard, I mean, he's in the best shape of his life. You know, he came back and he's focused on doing what he needs to do. So, you know, that's something I'm really excited about. But this rookie, what do you guys think? I mean, where does he fit in on this team?
Oh, he's smooth. So smooth. I mean, like, he had over 2,000 total yards, right, last year at Boise State?
Yeah.
Like, he's good. I mean, he's a former wide receiver, and he shows that. Like, he caught one when we were there. I didn't get it on camera, but literally him out of the backfield is nasty. Like, how smooth he is in and out of routes, how smooth he is just running the ball. Like, he is a Doug Martin clone, but he's way better in receiving. He's like Charles Sims receiver, but Doug Martin running. Like, I'm not going to say he's Doug Martin running because we haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he does look like him, though. Like, if you look at him on the field, they do look a lot alike. He's a little smaller than Doug. Because Doug's just – I mean, he's the muscle hamster. You can't beat that. He's got the biggest neck on the damn team, like Carl Nix used to say. But, I mean, he does look smooth. Like, I did the tape on him when he was at Boise State, like, looking at him. Like, he's a smooth athlete. He just doesn't have elite speed. He doesn't have elite anything. But he's just smooth. Like, he's going to catch the ball. He's a weapon to be used, and that's what Dirk's going to use him as.
Right.
But it's just, when's his opportunity going to be there?
Right. I see. So again, I think we talked about this before we went on the air. A lot of these running backs that Tampa has, they all had a chance to distance themselves and grab that starting position last season. And to be honest, nobody was really able to do it. Jacquizz Rodgers came the closest with the big games he had, but then durability comes into play. And what you got to keep in mind is, and I'm going to keep saying this until well into the season, the bye week is until week 11, and it's a lot of football. Well, it's a lot of getting hit, and a lot of things can happen. So I think it's important to have your best guys available. And I felt like, you know, when Doug Martin, 2015, Doug Martin was the second best running back in the NFL, and hands down. And I understand that he had a setback, but you know, again, when I look at his, you know, what he's capable of doing when he's healthy, I mean, that's something I have to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Doug Martin he's the best running back on this team by far. And like I've been saying, I mean, the Bucs are going to do whatever's best for the organization. If that's keeping Doug Martin, then they're going to do that. They're going to find a way to make him on this football team. If he's doing everything that he's being asked to do, I don't see a reason why they don't keep him. Once that week 3 is up and you go into week 4, I think the logical move is probably they're going to move Peyton Barber to the practice squad, and keep 4 running backs. And you have that extra running back just in case of an injury. So, yeah, I mean, especially what they went through last year where they had so many running backs go in and out. I think at one point we had Russell Hansbrough on the team, running the ball. So, just to have depth at that position is very critical, especially for an offense that is built to run the football. I mean, just like Mark posted yesterday with the O-line. I mean, this O-line is built to run the ball, and you have to have the guys to do that. And it's healthy. I don't see an issue as far as him not being on this team. And, to Mark's point about McNichols, I mean, the guy he is a Doug Martin clone. He's very smooth. He's very quick with his decisions, and he has the ability to make people miss, which is exciting. Very patient runner as well.
Yeah, and that's very important. I don't know how many running backs Tampa's had that they couldn't wait for that hole to open up, and they ran through the wrong hole, and we saw a lot of different things. And no knock on Pontiac Williams, but there were times where he ran the wrong way, and he didn't hit the hole like he should have. And that it's just it's interesting that you say that. That's something that I do look at in players is can they make those moves? Can they be patient and wait for that hole to open up? And that it's good to hear that. I can't wait to see for myself, but I'm really excited to actually see a preseason game and see what they're capable of doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Gene, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but one more thing as far as, I mean, a lot of people have been, saying Charles Sims is going to be let go of the team as well. But the thing with Charles Sims is he's so good at pass protection. So unless McNichols can show that he can pass protect as well as Sims, then I don't see Sims going anywhere because the Bucs got to have him on third down. Now again, Doug Martin's a great pass protector as well. So I mean, you just got to have that as far as your pass protection goes. I mean, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, this was a long, drawn-out season. And to your point, I actually watched a lot of Charles Sims while he was healthy. And he's a hell of a pass protector, like you said. And I want to second what you're saying. And these are – and the people that are saying these things are people that look at where the ball is going. And I mentioned this before. You have certain fans, they follow the ball. That's the play that they see. That's what they know. But when you're looking away from the play – and you're seeing somebody that's picking up a blitzer or helping with a guy that's coming in for a sack. I mean, those plays are huge, and you can't really put a statistic on them. Those are like the intangibles we talk about, and they're important. They're huge. And let's see here. Yeah, that's somebody was talking about the running back position. Guys, I'll definitely get in here and get your questions in the chat, I promise.
Before you switch, though, I will vouch for him. He's one hell of a blocker. McNichols, he's dirty. They kept him in there and when they were backed up in their own end zone. And he does it well. He does a lot of good things. So I'm just throwing it out there. I did a lot of looking up on McNichols after we drafted him, and he's a really good run blocker.
Yeah.
Or pass blocker, forgive me.
Yeah, somebody said that he ran a 4.49 at the combine, similar to Dalvin Cook. Oh, let's not bring his name up again. Let's move on. So we talked about the offense. I want to talk a little bit about Jameis Winston. I know that we've talked about this over the past couple of weeks. Jameis Winston, how Jameis Winston goes is how the team goes. And, the costly turnovers, putting your defense on the short side of the field early in the game. These are things I know he's watched the film. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but when you're watching him, do you see him trying to see what he's capable of doing, or is he doing like he was talking about, taking what the defense gives him. I know this is just practice, but with the secondary and some of these linebackers as athletic as they are, is Jameis Winston doing too much to, try to make a play and ending up with interceptions? Or what are your thoughts on him, just kind of watching him at the beginning of this season?
Mike, you can take it first, and I'll break it down after.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Jameis it's all about balancing that that aggressiveness, because he tends to always look for the big play, and you gotta like that, because he is a gunslinger, and he wants to make big plays, and that's what wins games in this league. You have to have the explosive plays down the field. But I think as far as what we saw in practice, I think it's just a guy trying to establish what he has as far as his new weapons goes, and try to see what he can do with those guys, try to establish a rapport. I think, again, he is showing the ability that he's learning. He's trying to find that common ground where, hey, I can take this shot, but maybe on this play I need to check it down to my running back. So there is a balance. Again, there's at times where you're like, what the hell was that? Yeah. But again, he's learning, and I think he's getting better. He's getting better with it. So.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, go ahead. I'm going to come in after you. I have something I definitely want to bring up, after you guys.
Yeah, that what the hell is that moment that Mike was talking about was he has a knack. He did it in college. He's still doing it in the pros, and he did it in practice when we were over there. It's like at times he just doesn't see the linebacker is there. That is my biggest weakness with Jameis. Like he's gotten a lot better with eye placement. I mean, he's with the little things, but like that one thing of seeing a linebacker that he just doesn't see. Like it's like Howard did a chip block, went out, linebacker's right there in front of him, and Jameis just throws it, and it literally went to the linebacker. It didn't go to Howard at all. And it's like, what? Jesus Christ. And I was like, who is that? And it was Richie Brown. I was like, who that? It wasn't even like it was Quan Alexander making a huge play or Levante David diving. It was like thrown to the guy's chest. And I'm like, Winston, what the hell are you doing? Like,
yeah.
Like, let's throw a bomb and have someone throw it up, or like a tip ball. But no, it's that one little thing where that's where he's saying, like, what the hell is he thinking? Like, but he does test the safeties, test the corners. He'll throw balls up there and believe in his arm. But that's the one area that I do have concern with Winston still.
It's interesting that you say that. I remember his rookie season, and it was huge where they were comparing all the interceptions that he threw versus the consistency that Marcus Mariota had. But what I remember about Jameis Winston is just what you guys were talking about. That's why I kind of wanted to chime in here and say that Jameis Winston, this is his chance to test things. This is his chance to see how tight he can throw a ball in this window. What can he do that he can translate this to a real game time situation? And that's kind of what you see when you look at those what the hell moments. And I don't know, that's somebody had compared him, because we were talking about comparisons early on. Somebody compared him to Eli Manning, and I've watched a lot of games with Eli Manning, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? This is not Madden. You can't throw it there. And, he just does, and I believe that's where the guy came up with the comparison, because he said that Jameis Winston, and you said it too, Jameis Winston has those what the hell moments. I'm going to tell you guys right now, Doug Williams was my favorite quarterback. Jameis Winston is now my favorite quarterback. That's how serious it is for me. And I think this guy, his upside is huge. I mean, for as young as he is, in his command of the game right now, what he's able to do, the fact that he can throw an interception and turn around and come back and put this team in a position to win games, that's huge. That's something that Tampa hasn't had for a long time. So, with that being said, I know that he watches film. He's a film person, and I know that he sees the same things that we're talking about, and I think he's going to improve on it.
Yeah, and I think Cutter talked about, I think it was today, or yesterday, talking about just learning, um, practicing game situations and understanding. They were emphasizing game situations more in practice, and getting Jameis to understand, hey, we need to focus on these situations and be prepared, for every possible scenario as far as what's going to pop in the game, and make sure you're ready for that situation. Um, but I mean, it's just finding that balance, like I was saying earlier, between where you need to take a shot and when it's time to say, hey, we need to just check it down, get the punt, pin the offense back and let the defense do work. Balance. Um, but again, like I was saying, he's testing a lot of things, and Jameis is not a good practice player. Let's get that out there. He's not a very good practice player.
He's
Never
Allen
has.
Iverson.
Yeah, he never has been a good practice player. I mean, even to his FSU days, I mean, he wasn't very good at practice. So, he's a gamer. He's going to rise up to the occasion.
And that's practice.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right. So another guy I wanted to talk to you guys about and just see if he's as good as Build. And I know he is. I already know what the answer is, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Deshaun Jackson, the newest veteran wide receiver to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me get your thoughts on him.
Oh, plus, let me take this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so
it's the low-hanging fruit, man.
Oh yeah, Deshaun Jackson. I've loved him since he was in Cal. Like, I talked to Pless about this, or Mike, forgive me, Mike about this years ago. I was like, we need this damn guy. Like, he had that swagger since then. Like, he had that confidence where he's like, I'm going to beat you. You're not going to stop me. I'm going to beat you no matter what. And he still has that damn confidence. Like, you see him in practice, he's got that Warren Sapp mentality where he's like, just, he's walking around and he's like, okay, I already won. Who wants my autograph, kind of thing. Like, he knows he's that good. He shows it. Like, he's electric. Like, him off the ball, it's fun to watch. Like, I was walking down and I was going to go to the restroom at practice, and I'm just watching. They hike the ball, and just how quick twitch he is. Like, Mike Evans, 6'5", 225, whatever he is. Jackson's just a whole other animal. It's a total opposite. Just so quick off the ball, and you want to jam him, and you go to jam, he's gone. Like, it's crazy. And the video that was up, I think it was today or yesterday, of Grimes staying with him. Grimes looks back, looks up at Deshaun Jackson, and he's already like 2 yards away from him, 2-3 yards away. It's like he has that second or third gear that just guys can't reach. And like, it's like to me, it's going to be a nightmare. Like, you have that speed on one side, you have monster on the right side, and in the middle, there's mismatches all over. And just Deshaun Jackson just brings that flair, swagger, and confidence to the team and to the offense that we haven't seen here. Like, we haven't seen here in a while.
Not at all. Not even close to it. I mean, let me think. I mean, would you say Joey Galloway is close to that? Maybe.
Yeah.
Speed-wise, but not this like confidence. Like, that confidence.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. When Steve Smith left the Carolina Panthers, I wanted him here in Tampa. I know you guys may think I'm crazy, but this guy, if you talk about swagger, I mean, he's willing to go and beat up a defensive back. That's right. I love players like that. I mean, that's why I like Hines Ward. Hines Ward they made rule changes because of Hines Ward, a wide receiver, So, I mean, those are the kind of players that I like. And I think that, with Deshaun Jackson, his swagger, man, just like and that's the perfect word for him. I mean, he knows he's good. And he wants you to prove that you can beat him. And you will get embarrassed if you don't beat him. So, again, just like Drew Brees said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be a problem, and that's just the as long as those guys stay healthy. And another guy that, the rest of the other fan bases are not aware of, again, is Chris Godwin, who's the kind of, I want to segue over to him, because here's a guy that for everything that I've heard about him, this guy is going to, his upside is just amazing. I watched him, and I watched. Yeah, I guess I don't know what you guys look for when you look at game film, but I always look for behaviors, and I watched this guy blocking downfield, and kind of reminded me of Mike Evans a little bit. How Mike Evans blocks downfield, and he's not scared to get his hands dirty, and those are the kind of players that you need, because you're blocking downfield. You may open up a play that may go 15 yards. You could turn that into a touchdown real easy. So just I think what they've combined is incredible. I think that everybody's going to feed off everybody else. I think what Deshaun Jackson, his experience, he can definitely help Mike Evans with the nuances of the game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a quick point on Deshaun Jackson. I mean, the guy is very electric, like Mark said, and they even had a play to him during practice when we were there. They ran a little reverse play, and you could just tell the instant speed, him with the ball in his hands. I mean, he made a couple juke moves, and he was gone. Decisive and quick. I mean, just getting the ball in his hands, and could you imagine? I mean, the screen plays we run with Adam Humphries, you get that with Deshaun Jackson catching the ball. You got a potential touchdown on that play. Yeah. So, I mean, every time he touches the ball, he has a chance to score. That's why I compared him to Joey Galloway. Joey Galloway didn't have the shiftiness that Deshaun has. He didn't have that ability to make people miss. He just beat you with pure speed.
Yes.
I mean, he can do that when Joey Galloway ran a 4.2. So, I mean, so did Deshaun, I believe. So, blessed athletes. I mean, that's all you can say. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be electric. And then as far as Chris Godwin, I mean, Mark said it earlier. I mean, the guy's just so smooth in his route running. He's a very good route runner. His separation, his ability to is what makes him special. And then his just body control, ability to make catches. I mean, if the football is anywhere in his radius, I mean, he's going to come down with it. Which is, I mean, yeah.
All right. Yeah, one more thing. It's about Godwin. So you were saying like what we look for. Like, yeah, I look for everything. Like, it's not just can you catch the ball, can you run routes. It's can you run routes? Can you catch the ball? Can you block? Are you excited when someone scores a touchdown? Or are you walking off the field? Like, Godwin does it all. He's a perfect coach's player. Like you said, he blocks down the field. Like here, I saw a play where Saquon Barkley's running down the field. Saquon Barkley's one hell of a running back.
Yes.
He'll be on one side of the field, switch to the other side. The only one that's still blocking is Chris Godwin, and he's putting people on the ground out of bounds. Like he's aggressive. I love that about him. And one play where Saquon Barkley went from left side to right side, ends up scoring a touchdown. First person there to jump on him is Chris Godwin. That's a team player. Like and he's sitting there blocking, and then jumps on Barkley. So like.
And have you watched his technique? He blocks like a freaking offensive lineman. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not. It's not one of those. It's not one of those blocks like a wide receiver block. This is an offensive lineman. I'm taking you all the way out of this play, and you're going up into the stands. I mean, we're not going to stop at the benches. I'm putting you up in the stands. That's the kind of thing that he does, where he's moving guys.
Or what was your comparison? Was it Hines Ward or who was it?
Hines Ward was that guy. Mike Evans. I've seen Mike Evans.
Mike Evans.
I forgot who he lit up. He lit up somebody. Was it from Cincinnati?
The Bengals. Yeah.
Threw
his ass to the ground.
Yeah, Terrence.
I loved it. I loved it. Yeah. But I was going to say another Buccaneer great blocker. Thou shall not be named. Mike Clayton. Clayton was a hell of a blocker.
The stone-headed devil. Yeah. All right, he was a good blocker.
Yeah. Well, he was a good blocker, and he does the same stuff. Like, he'll knock the hell out of you. Like, you saw the game against Michigan, where he knocked the crap out of Jabril Peppers, put him on his ass. Jabril Peppers was I could win the Heisman. No, put him on his ass. Like, I'm going to run through you. But I mean, he's not afraid. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And another thing we look on as for tape. I mean, as far as tape goes, the number one thing we always look for in every player that we scout is maximum effort. That's what we look for in every player. If they show maximum effort throughout the film, usually we're going to put them high on our board. That's, you just can't coach that stuff. You got to have the ability to maximum effort, love the game of football, number two, and then obviously the athleticism and the ability, has to be a part. But maximum effort, I mean, that's just something you got to have, and that's why we kind of question Justin Evans. That's why we question Beckwith. We were kind of surprised by those picks because at times they didn't show that maximum effort, and that's skeptical to us as far as process goes.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm right there with you guys. I mean, that all makes sense to me. Again, if you see the same thing over and over and over and over again, I talk about behaviors, you kind of get a idea of who that person is as a football player. And that's something that you can't get it all from one game. You have to watch multiple games in order to get an idea. And like you talk about, that's a great point. And folks, if you get a chance to get all 22, I would suggest it, just to, get even deeper into the game where you understand plays and try to look at plays away from the ball when you're watching the play. Don't watch where the ball is. Watch where people are lined up. Watch what people are doing throughout the play. And, you may spot some things that you really never saw before, and it just makes the game a whole lot funner than, what it was, just looking for those little things, those little nuances.
I'm going to throw a little plug in there. If you don't get it, just go look at our site because we have plenty of videos that will show you what the hell we're looking at, and that's exactly what's going on. Yeah, once preseason gets here, I'm excited because I'm going to be breaking down the game tape all over again and putting it up game one, things that we saw in videotape, not just typing away saying this is what I saw. I'm going to show you what I saw, and you can make your own judgments of it.
Because as Warren Sapp says, tape don't lie.
Yeah.
They don't.
So, I know we've been kind of going around and, different players that we're, really excited about. And again, I can't wait for live bullets, man. I mean, to me, that's how you know what you have for, and yeah, I know these plays are vanilla plays and, you probably wouldn't see them in regular season, but it shows technique. It shows drive. And to you guys' point, and it's a word that I'll definitely bring up more often, it's maximum effort. And that's what you want to see. And I think this is really, this is the fun part of the season for me, because there are guys that are vying for positions. We have Hard Knocks going on. And, just seeing some of these guys and what they're capable of doing to, do the best, maximize their chances of making the team. That's something I'm really excited about.
Right,
so go ahead, Mark.
I wanted to add this. So, like you said, maximum effort. You don't want to have to light a fire in someone's ass.
No, you shouldn't have to.
You want them to literally go out there and want to put their damn, not life on the line, but like put their heart on the line to freaking win you a game. Like you have to want to get out there to hit someone that's 300 damn pounds in front of you. Like Quan doesn't back down for people. That when I look at a linebacker, that's what I look for. Like the heart and will to go into someone, even though they're bigger than you, just to get in the pile, to play the game you love. That's right. Like how Mike said, like that's why we're skeptical of certain guys. But preseason, this is where you see it. Who the hell wants to make the roster? Who wants to make the NFL game check? You're going to see the outliers, the guys that I don't want to get in there. You don't want that. You don't want that guy, especially if it's one of the last guys in your roster. You want the guy that's going to knock the hell out of someone. You want a Joe Hawley.
Yeah.
Even though he's small, he's not as big as other people, but he's going to make a roster because he doesn't give a shit. He's going to go.
Yeah.
He's going to go the extra inch to win you that game.
Yeah. So I know you guys we talked about it a little bit. We touched it on a little bit. I kind of want to stick with offense a little bit more. There's a guy that, you heard me talk about him, Luke Stalker. Do you think that Luke Stalker has a chance of making his team? I mean, I'm kind of sticking with offense. He's a hell of a blocker, to be very honest. And I know he's had some issues with injury, but do you think with what his skill set is, do you see him landing a spot on his team?
Sure, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I think he's got a good chance. I mean, his blocking is up there. He's really talented as far as his blocking skills go. But I mean, the thing with him is just health. I mean, if he can stay healthy. But I mean, this Eau Claire kid is coming on strong. So I mean, the tight end group is going to be a battle. I mean, even Alan Cross, again, he's making strides.
Now, will he be a fullback?
I mean,
will they use him as a fullback, or will they use him as a tight end?
I think they're going to use Stalker as the lead fullback. I think that's going to be his role. But again, it just depends on, the numbers game. I mean, how many tight ends are you going to keep? Are they going to keep 4 again like they did last year, or do they go 5 again like they started the year off with? So, I mean, it's going to be tough, but I mean, he's in a battle because Claire just keeps getting better every day. He can block just as well as Stalker. I mean, he's got a really good technique, and he knows how to push people back. So, yeah, I mean, it just really depends on how the other guys progress. But Stalker he's on the edge for sure.
Yeah, and it just sounds like that tight end, the group of tight ends that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have is light years ahead of what it was last season. So that's something to really be excited about. And again, Cameron Brate, for all of you guys listening to me, do not count him out. He has a good chemistry with the starting quarterback. So that counts for a whole lot. That's a security blanket. So, just look at him and just realize there may be 2 tight end sets at times. So don't write anybody off. And as Michael and Mark like to say, the roster is fluid. We don't know what the end result's going to be until toe goes to leather on the first game against the Miami Dolphins. And we'll see what happens then.
Yep.
So the tight ends, though. Cam Brate should be looked upon as the number 1 tight end. I'm going to put my foot down on that one. I'm tired of –
Absolutely, and I'm right there with you. You're absolutely right.
Because media outlets, I love NFL Network, but, they don't even mention his name ever nowadays. It's Deshaun Jackson, Mike Evans, and O.J. Howard, they're going to be unstoppable. I'm like, you forgot someone. You forgot a bigger one. O.J., I wrote today, O.J. Howard, he's a hell of a player in college, hell of an athlete, but he hasn't proven he can be a focal point yet. He hasn't proven that at all. Alabama didn't run that. They ran the ball. That's what he shows he's damn good at, run blocking. That's what I expect him to excel at going forward, run blocking. He's been showing that, obviously, at practice. But the main one that can catch the ball right now is Cam Brate. Expect him to keep doing what he's been doing really well and only add on to it with Howard. But, jumping off what Plus said about Eau Claire, I suppose he's throwing Noah Spence around too, which is pretty damn good to be doing. I couldn't believe he did that. But he's not a speed guy. Don't get him mixed with that. Don't think he's
physical though.
Yeah, but he's very physical. I think a whole bunch of people were thinking he's I don't know, one of these big speed threats going down the seam. No, he's a big boy.
Punishes people.
But then again, O.J. Howard still makes people look small. I don't know how the hell this guy is that big.
You know what's interesting?
Claire
go ahead.
Claire knows how to use. Yeah, Claire just knows how to use his size. I mean, he's a big body, and he just knows how to use his body well. He's gonna be a guy that you can just throw 5-yard passes to, but he's gonna be in there you can put him as a pass protection on a 6-man line, or you can use him as a run blocker. So, I mean, I think him and Stalker, that's gonna be the battle right there. I mean, it really depends on who is gonna progress more. But again, I could see him keeping 4, and I think Cross might be the odd man out. So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody made an interesting point, and I'm going to stick to offense right here. We were talking about Jameis Winston a little bit. Somebody mentioned Brandon Fuller. Hey, thanks for this. He said Jameis Winston needs 6,700 yards to top Vinny Testaverde as Tampa's all-time leading passer. And I believe Vinny was here for 6 years?
Is that real?
That's crazy. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just had to put that out there. That's crazy.
Really?
But yeah, I had to double check on that. But if Jameis Winston's a real deal, and I don't want anybody to think I'm talking bad about him. This guy, he's my favorite quarterback of all the Bucs. He would be my favorite. Surpassing Doug Williams. But again, he's got to cut down on the mistakes and putting his defense in a bad situation at times, and like he talked about taking what the defense gives him. So Michael, I'm gonna go with you. Wow, I can't believe we've already almost gone an hour. Oh my God. I'm gonna get over to you first, and I want to get your thoughts. I know that there were some things that you kind of wanted to touch on. I don't know if we were able to touch on everything, but I wanted to start with you, and just get your thoughts on anything that we haven't touched on.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing I wanted to speak on was just Javian Elliott. I mean, what an incredible story that is. A guy who was a walk-on football player, hasn't played football before, ever before he got to FSU. He walks on, he gets on the team, becomes a pretty good player, and then last year he goes undrafted. The Bucs pick him up, and he's starting games for us late in the year, and now it looks like the guy's taken to another level and probably going to be our starting nickel this season. So the way Javian Elliott's been playing is really impressive. He's looked really good, and like I said earlier, I think the biggest thing that's going to surprise people is this offensive line. I mean, me and Mark have been talking about it. This offensive line is built to run the football, and I think this run game is going to come back and really be a force that no one's really talking about. I mean, everyone's talking about the passing game, but I think that running game is just going to make this offense click, and because the offense is designed to run the ball. I mean, it
opens up the play action, and from there, everything else is, all bets are off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, other than those 2 points, I mean, the kicker competition is real close. I mean, that looks strong. I mean, both kickers are raising their game, making 55-yarders, which is nice to see. J.J. Wilcox making plays. So, I mean, it's just the competition right now is really good. It's really it's making everything better as far as this team goes. So, can't wait till next Friday to see actual game tape. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, going to be fun. Mark.
No, I just looked up what that fan was saying. Yeah, like he was right. Vinny Testaverde is the leading one, and he's only like 6,700 yards away. I didn't know it was that close. Like, that's crazy.
I know, right?
I couldn't believe that. And then and touchdowns, I think Freeman leads it with 78, which is even Winston's 28 away from that. He has 50 right now, I think, right?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's insane. He could get that this year. Like he could potentially get that. Not
realistically, he could get it this year.
Mm-hmm. Touchdowns I can see, but I don't know, not the yardage at all. No one's done that. But but people like Mike nailed all of them on that one. He did. But I want to say one thing about safeties. Keith Tandy, everyone thinks that five game stretch was all he has and that's all he's going to do. No, I mean, Keith Tandy, if you look at tape, it's not like he's going to forget what the hell he did those 5 games. He played at another level those 5 games, and I expect him to do the same. It's not like he's going to totally forget. Mm-hmm. So expect that same thing. I think the coaches are perfectly fine with him being the number one that's already set. It's between Wilcox and Conti, I think. Mm-hmm. But that's set in stone. I want to see what's going to happen with the third linebacker when we do have it. Is it going to be Beckwith or Devontae Bond? Mm-hmm. But we saw a little bit of Bond.
Yeah.
He did get blocked a lot by Sweezy.
But Sweezy's a freaking road grinder, though. I mean,
I love Sweezy. I mean, you know what? This offensive line, I'm going to say I love the offensive line. I think it's the section of the team that no one's talking about and everyone downs. And they need to change their mindset because potentially this is a hell of a running game we can start up. And it doesn't matter who the hell's behind it. I mean, I'm not saying we're the Cowboys offensive line, but the running game
They're underrated.
Like, just if you look at the whole left side, like Donovan Smith and Kevin Pamphile, that's like a damn two mountains. Like, it's going to be hard to do anything to run through that. You can't run stop against those.
And this is the thing. And just to that point, there have been so many people that have just slandered this guy, Donovan Smith. He's a bum. He does this, he does that. And I think, and I've said it on here. You can go back and look at some of the videos we've done in the past. I said this guy is going to shut a whole bunch of people up. He's going to have a good season. He's going to be, everybody's worried about him. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yep.
I fully agree. I've written it. I've said it. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, the transition of Ali Marpet to center is just, it's ginormous. I mean, it's going to make the offense line that much better because you have so much more athleticism up front. The ability to swing Marpet on run plays where you can get him out in front is going to be deadly. I mean, you just look at what the Cowboys are able to do with Zach Martin on run plays where they can swing him out. And now you got an Ali Marpet or Kevin Pamphile or J.R. Sweezy coming around the corner. I mean, you can just forget about it. I mean, you get J.R. Sweezy, on a linebacker. I mean, that's going to open up a hole instantly. So you increase your size up front. You have guys that now your whole offense line is over 6'5", 300 pounds. You're going from, you just add the overall strength and size is very impressive, and that's just going to make you that much better and very intimidating as well. And if Jameis Winston has a play action passing game this year, I mean, you just book us for playoffs. I mean, it's over. I mean, play action is money, is bread and money. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just a lot of different things to look for. And again, this is day 3 in pads, and you never know what can happen. There's gonna be some players, and just because I trust in the general manager, I believe there are going to be some players that are just going to come out of nowhere and do good and help really contribute to this team. Players like a Caleb Beninock, a guy who you really and minus the strip club story. We don't really bring that up. I'm not TMZ. I don't know what really happened. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone. But if we just exclude that part of it, I think that here's another guy that can contribute and be.
I thought it was a dinner bill.
Rotation.
Dinner bill. I thought it was just for food.
Was it? It may have been food. Jesus, what was it?
Okay. It's like $5,000 for food. I mean, like, come on.
Jesus, are you kidding me?
No.
No,
strippers make more sense though.
No, I just, again, we've, and this as well. We've all been on Twitter. We've heard these people talk about the safety position. We've heard them talk about the offensive line. We've heard them talk about cornerbacks. And you know what? I keep explaining to people, you've got the same coaches in consecutive years. These players are comfortable right now. Where you're seeing speed is because you're not having to think about it. You've already been in this system. The core players have been in this system. They know what they need to do. It's not like I'm learning. You don't have to go back and learn all over again. You know that you can go out in the field and do what you need to do to make the play successful, if that's what you want to do. So to me, that's the exciting part to me. That's what really makes me appreciate the defense. You guys are talking about the defense, seeing them flying around to the ball, being more aggressive. That's because they're not learning a new defense. They've got it. And the new guys that are coming in, they're able to help them transition because you've got a bunch of guys that already know what's going on.
Yep.
So let me see. I'm gonna jump over here to the chat. I know this is getting late, and I know some people have to go and stuff. No, I hope you didn't take that wrong. I didn't mean anything by it. I'm just saying I'm trying to wrap this up. Let's see. Hey, just tell her, if whatever I need to send your way, I'll do it. I'll be there in September. I'll hand deliver it if I need to. Just putting it out there, Let's see
that'd be
here.
great.
Hey, what is it, broccoli? Maybe some cauliflower. I don't know.
Quinoa.
Quinoa. There we go.
No, there it is. There it is.
I know where you get your quinoa in bulk, man. I got you. We'll get you shored up.
That same stuff.
Exactly, man. I'll get you shored up on that and some wheatgrass, and I got you covered, man. Let's see here. He is a real deal. He's already passed Trent Dilfer and TD passing TD record already. So yeah, that was great news about JV and Elliott, and the entire secondary are getting a lot of praise in camp. Yeah, that's just kind of goes back to what you guys were talking about. B. Loggins, I was worried about the cornerback core, but since camp, I feel a lot better. And again, that's giving him a chance to gel and play. I think that people, barring any injuries, will be real comfortable with them once we get into preseason games. So that's pretty exciting. Kick return. That's what I wanted to talk about. And B. Loggins, I'll get to your question in a minute. What are the Bucs going to do at punt return, kick return? Do they have any? I mean, from what you guys have been listening to or what you guys have seen, do you have any idea what they're planning on doing? I mean, that was a part of the game that could really use improvement. And, we really haven't touched on it a lot. But you look at what Brian Anger was able to do, with field position on the back end, on the other end of that, do we have kick returners that can get the offense good field position, starting field position?
I mean, they came out with something today, right?
Yeah.
They came out with, Humphreys has got the punt returner and Ryan Smith has the kick return. But, I mean, it's just pretty much Adam Humphreys' job to lose. It's pretty much his. I don't think anyone else on the roster can take that from him. Unless Deshaun Jackson says, I want a punt return, which I don't see that happening. Too much money there.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, I'm talking about Ryan Smith. I mean, he has the speed. He has all the athleticism. I want to see what he does at corner, but if he can do something at kick return, which he did do in college, which he did pretty well, actually, I mean, we'll see. So we got preseason to look at, right?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I think it's still going to be Humphreys. I mean, he's Mr. Safe, Mr. Reliable. I mean, rather not give up the ball than try and do sadly, Josh off and go over the whole thing and drop the ball at the 2-yard line.
Got to do better.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would just say a sleeper for there is Dante Dye. Just keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, let's see. All right. So that's been pretty much it. It's been an hour. We've kind of touched on some different things in camp. When are you guys going to camp again? Let me ask that question.
I don't know if we'll be going this weekend. Probably be if there's a practice next weekend, we might hit that up, but just depends. Okay. Can't make it out this weekend. I think they have a practice Saturday, and then I think it's closed on Sunday. But we'll see. It might be. Well, you know what? They play next Friday, so I don't know if they're going to have a practice on the weekend. So it might be a couple weeks.
Is that going to be a home game?
Yeah. And next week they go up to Cincinnati. So.
That's right. Okay. All right. That's right. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. As usual, my co-host Michael Pless, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for dragging this guy on. Like I said, there's going to be quinoa and wheatgrass and anything else, some shredded coconuts and, anything else I can get you, man, just to get in your wife's good graces, to get you on more often, man. Cause I really appreciate you being on. So,
I just ask him nicely and he comes on. So maybe I just need to ask him. I just need to ask him more.
Yeah. I just need to stop being a jerk and making fun of him and just let you handle all the easy work here.
I think it's just me being a hog, I'm camera hog and I just don't want, man, I just don't want him on here,
Exactly. That could definitely be it. Oh yeah, Mark, I forgot to ask you about coming on, even though the show's over, but maybe next time.
Yeah.
11:01 he asked me.
Yeah. So it's just me being an asshole. That's all it is.
There you go. So Mark, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you.
You can get a hold of us at Real Bucks Talk, at Real Bucks Talk on Twitter, realbuckstalk.com. Comment on anything you want. Go ahead, look at any content you want. When preseason starts, game 1 on next Friday, we'll probably have videos up that next following day, Saturday, because I have nothing else to do besides watch that. Yeah. And I'm going to be obsessed. I've already began being obsessed. Mike can't believe that I'm writing back-to-back days in a row. It's just
it's a miracle.
It's almost like a spidey sense is tingling. I just gotta get it out. Like I can't just keep it in.
And like I said, that article was so good. I thought that Michael wrote it.
I mean, it's football's in the air. I can't help it. Like once it's back, it's back. It's time to go all out, and I get really heated when it comes to the Buccaneers. And
yeah, definitely.
It doesn't matter if it's at work, it's right here, or if it's on the damn typing on the computer. I'm gonna get it out, and people are gonna hear it.
Sweet. And folks, I just want, before I let you go, I just want to say Jerry Jones has no business going into the Hall of Fame. Simeon Rice should be going into the Hall of Fame. Okay, I'm going to say that. I'm going to keep saying that. And that's why I'm not really talking about the Hall of Fame game that's going on now. That's a travesty of justice. Should have been Jimmy Johnson way before Jerry Jones. And then, body of work shows itself. Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much it for me. Guys, thank you so much for being on. Everybody who's checking us out, thank you so much. And I appreciate everybody in the chat. And that's it for us. So have a good weekend. And football's here, so let's enjoy it.